Welcome back to another episode of the Land Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Sleds. With me, as always, Titan Mike Kessinger. What's going on, Mike?
Day Kev, how about you?
Another Wednesday with shitty weather.
It's Ohio. Moved to Arizona. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, just leave the wife and kids behind.
Yeah, why not?
I'm down, but I don't know if I could support you.
Yeah, probably not. Kind of high maintenance.
Yeah, I can see that. It's all right. So kind of a dull week. A lot of things ended. This is this is a real mute spot.
Not a whole lot going on.
There's a lot of mute season for sports. Off season kind of over for football. Super Bowl's gone. Off season has started. Because basketball's in full effect, but
it's almost all-star break.
Being a Cleveland fan right now, they're 30-40. I mean, the biggest hype we got right now is Tristan Thompson hitting back-to-back threes.
Yeah,
that's for a loop, but spring training has not started, but
right.
It's only pitchers and
catchers. Full squad reports.
Well, 75% of the teams are down there now.
A lot of them are down there.
What's reported, but like I said, it's kind of a dull time in Cleveland sports right now.
Yeah, it is.
Things will pick up here in a couple weeks. Free agency starts in about a month.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that. The draft is a month after that. So it's the holy grail for me. It's mine.
Yeah, we'll have
my nirvana.
We'll do a little draft show. Well, we're gonna work something up for that.
Yeah, we're thinking about it because the day after our show, Wednesday's our show, but the draft starts Thursday, so we might, now that we're not tied down to show slots, we can do whatever we want, whenever we want, however we want to.
True.
We may just surprise you guys and do a live showing during the draft.
During the draft, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Be live for
draft,
the whole thing.
Live draft coverage.
First round.
First round, because people don't.
Yeah, after that it's.
Well, second and third, there's a lot of.
Yeah, second and third.
But it's it's just.
The third day is.
I barely watch the third day. I have alerts on my phone, and I'll periodically,
If I'm home, I'll turn it on when I know the Browns are going to pick, but that's about it. I mean, back in the day, I used to sit when it was I used to watch it all day.
Yeah.
When it was just all day Saturday.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that was fun times, but that was also boring.
Yeah.
Of
course, we'll have the draft here next year.
Yeah, are we gonna go?
We gotta plan it for sure.
I'm down to go down, not for the show, just to go.
Yeah, just to go. Yeah, I definitely.
That'd be too big of a logistical nightmare for us to try to do a show. We'll be doing on the back of my truck.
Yeah.
Set up a table and chairs, just sit in the back of my pickup truck and go. Yep, over there is a draft, but we're over here because we don't have media passes.
Way far away.
Yeah, we're using binoculars to see the stage. But did you see the plan for the Vegas draft?
Yeah,
a boat and water shit.
Boat.
This is a Vegas. You're super extra. All right, I get it. You're glitz and glamour, and you're Vegas. The city that never sleeps. Blah 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 blah. But dude, we don't need to wait a minute and a half for you to row your ass to the stage.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Because you want to be, whoo.
Right.
I was like, dude, just a bridge. That's why they invented those things.
Right.
It's quicker. But then you have Cleveland have to compete with an island.
You think any of these guys are going to get excited and jump in the water? I hope so.
Maybe. It could be. Or someone if Joe Burrow doesn't go number one, he could try to kill himself.
Well, he could also try to kill himself if the Bengals draft him.
Yeah. You see the Bengals are trying to trade Dalton so he doesn't get stuck with a bad situation.
Yeah.
That's a respectable move right there. I respect the hell out of that.
Right.
Dalton put, 10 years with you? He wasn't a horrible quarterback.
No, he was decent.
To be honest with you, if Dalton landed in New England, that'd be a match made in heaven for both teams. I'm telling you right now.
Well, you got Phillip Rivers out there too now.
The Colts.
Think that's where he's going?
Because he's thought about Tennessee, but Tennessee's going to go with Tannehill. He's younger. He knows the system, Look what he did with the system.
Right.
I mean, that's a no-brainer, You got rebirth here, comeback player of the year. You got A.J. Brown, Corey Davis, Derrick Henry, as long as they're re-signed.
Yeah.
I don't think they want to change up too much. So
for some reason, I keep hearing Case Keenum to the Browns.
I've heard that a couple times too.
To compete with
Baker. I think Baker needs it because
maybe he needs
who's
somebody to push
behind
him.
Baker to push him?
What's it gonna hurt?
Gilbert and Stanton.
Yeah.
These guys aren't going to compete. Baker knows he's not going to get taken out by any of those guys.
Right.
You bring in a Casey Keenum, who's the backup in New Orleans?
Teddy Bridgewater.
Bridgewater, thank you. Yeah. Even a Mariota or Trubisky.
Yeah, I heard Mariota. Somebody mentioned Mariota's name today too.
Those players who have been NFL starters for the past X amount of years, who could come in there and know that, hey, look, I'm gunning for the starting job. I've been there, done that. I want that.
Right.
You know, Gilbert or whatever, is it Gilbert?
Yeah, Garrett Gilbert.
Gilbert and Stanton, they're career backups at a very minimum. Stanton can stay and be that veteran leader, you know, that playbook guy that helps, break down things if you want to. But
right.
You're gonna need one of those guys. Bring one of those guys. Yeah, it's gonna push Baker to play harder and watch his back because right now he's nobody pushing him. There's nobody knocking on the door going, "Hey, you fuck up, I'm coming in."
Maybe he needs a veteran to tell him to stay out of the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, he just needs his wife to stop cooking. But you see all these exercises his wife's posting there.
Yeah.
You would think he'd be in better shape every time he has to walk across the field, turn off the lights, and Progressive.
Right.
I mean, First Energy Stadium. So.
Right. Yeah,
but I wouldn't mind Casey Keenum in Cleveland. No, I wouldn't mind. I don't think Bridgewater. I think Bridgewater signing with the same thing that they got.
He's gonna stay there.
I think that's a great match for them too.
Right.
Trubisky may stay in Chicago.
Yeah.
Mariota though, I can see Mariota.
He's gonna be going somewhere.
I can see Mariota could sign with Cleveland as a backup. He could also sign Chicago. He could sign. I don't know who else needs a quarterback. Philly.
Other teams that need quarterbacks are going to be drafting them.
Yeah. Well, Cleveland needs. You also say constantly you want someone to come in there and push.
Yeah.
Because luckily with Patrick Mahomes, he sat for a year and now he's about to push $40 million a year as for a quarterback. So just because San Diego drafts, in my opinion, Herbert from Oregon doesn't mean he has to start year one.
Right.
You could sign a Mariota, let him sit there for a year, learn the playbook, learn the system, learn the environment, because it's a whole new arena too. There's kids going to LA. I mean, it's.
Well, I heard their GM today saying that they're okay with the internal options they have. Tyrod Taylor, he mentioned him by name.
Yeah, well, as a bridge quarterback.
As a bridge if they draft.
And that's what smart franchises do.
Right.
They will bridge your quarterbacks. Kansas City did it.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens a lot more than you think it does. I mean,
right.
Look what Green Bay did with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Do you think Aaron Rodgers would have been as good as he was coming out starting day one?
And that's back in the day. That's what you used to do. You draft a quarterback high in the first round. You sit him for the first year
or two. I mean,
now guys come in and start right away.
And then sometimes you only have those few that work out right away.
Right.
I mean, you don't have them injury prone.
Yeah.
Golf isn't as good as his contract would suggest. I mean, Andrew Luck retired. He was one of those few that came in and was boom, just took off.
Yeah.
I mean, name another one that didn't sit for a year and then come out and ball.
Well, I'm sure there's others we're not thinking of.
Russell Wilson.
And he wasn't even a first round pick. He was.
No, but he also wasn't this elite in the beginning either.
Right.
Took time, but some will have this. But
right.
I think if Hubert would just get drafted by San Diego or LA and sit for a year, wouldn't be the worst thing.
No.
Probably be the best thing, to be honest. Same with the Dolphins with Tua.
So speaking of the Browns, big news today: Myles Garrett got reinstated by the NFL, so he's back.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you that. So he served a 6-game suspension.
6 games, right?
Do you think that was too much, enough, not enough? And take the Cleveland bias out. 100%. If this was any other player in the NFL, not a number 1 overall pick, elite pass rusher for your beloved Cleveland Browns. If this was any other player in the NFL, Clowney, Watt, those elite pass rushers, would it be enough?
The thing is, I think if this would have happened like 8 games into the season, he would have been suspended the entire season and missed 8 games. I just think the timing of it, they're going to. I don't know what his plea was when he went in there, but everybody knows he's not a bad guy.
No.
There's this rumor that there was a racial slur said by Mason Rudolph, which set Garrett off. And I heard a couple people talking about it this morning. David DeCastro was the closest one. Supposedly it happened when they were tied up on the ground. And if you notice, if you go back and watch it, he didn't jump in right away to help to kind of cool things off. So they're saying, somebody said maybe he heard what was said and understand why Myles Garrett was going off.
But you still didn't answer my question.
No, I think it was fair.
You think
6
6
games,
is
I think
enough?
is fair.
That's fair. All right. Now, do you think he only came back? He was reinstated because it was an on the field issue. Because let's take it. Let's put it side by side. He attacked another human being with an inanimate object, which can be considered a lethal weapon with the weight and stuff. Blah blah
Right.
blah. Because a sport can be a lethal weapon nowadays. So, but if he did that on the field in pads in the middle of the game.
Yeah.
But if he done that on the street, went after somebody with a helmet and got charges for assault, because that's exactly what happened. Same thing, just in game out game. Is he suspended for 6 games?
I think he'd probably be suspended for more games than more than 6.
Yes.
Probably a full season.
So, when my question is, how do you word this? Is it beneficial or is it a double standard for just because it happened on the field?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
it goes-
I guess it could be seen that way.
Because you're in the heat of a football game, it's okay. Try to hit somebody with a helmet, but you could be in the heat of an argument off the street, but
Yeah.
same exact situation. He could have said a racial slur and you boom,
Yeah, I see.
but now you're suspended. Like, what makes it a difference?
Right.
Is it an image thing for the NFL because it happened on NFL time?
It could
They're
be.
like, oh crap. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a little shady situation, but
Yeah.
I mean, he's back. It's whatever, but
Right.
and also if it was Ben Roethlisberger that he took a hit at instead of Mason Rudolph, would that have affected the length?
Probably. Most likely. Also, he made the Joe Woods hire official as defensive coordinator. Everybody knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, but Joe Woods had the ball, had it in his hands. He's like, "What are you gonna pay me?"
Yeah. Well, I'm sure. I'd like to know what he's getting paid. I'm sure it's a nice contract. They hired Chris Kiffin as defensive line coach. Lane Kiffin's younger brother. He was the pass rush specialist for the 49ers last year.
I like that too. I like that hire a lot because look
Yeah.
what he was able to do with those talent. And
Yeah.
yes, we don't have as many first round picks on this line,
Right.
but we have an elite one. And let's just see the package they can,
See what
I
they
like
come
it.
up with. I
'Cause
think
the
Vernon.
Browns can go and sign. They could get rid of Vernon. They can sign Clowney. Clowney's a free agent.
Right. Yeah, there's
You
nothing
compare-
stopping them from doing that. Also signed Jason Tarver as linebacker coach. He was the DC at Vanderbilt. Has 16 years of NFL experience as an assistant coach. And then Jeff Howard as defensive back coach and pass game coordinator. He was Vikings assistant DB coach last year, so obviously he worked with Stefanski. He was with the Vikings for a while.
And he's worked with some decent defensive backs in
Right.
Harrison Smith.
So then he's quietly put together a really nice staff. There's no like huge flashy names, but just solid coaches.
It's all about how there's no flashy like boom big name.
Right.
This team is built together because it's a team. It's gonna work. It's gonna mesh together. It's uniform. It's gonna be one.
Right.
It's aligned. In the words of Haslam, it's coming together. So
Well, we had that flashy name coaching staff when Hugh Jackson. We had
Greg Williams.
Greg Williams. We had Pep Hamilton.
Greg Williams is a great hire. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Greg Williams.
I'm just saying.
I would
Look
hire Greg Williams back. He's one of the best defensive coordinators out there. Like right. That's active. I mean, I think I'd rather have Dean Pease or Dick LeBeau, but
Yeah. Wade Phillips.
Wade Phillips is current though. Yeah, I'd rather have Wade Phillips too. But I don't know. Wade Phillips wants a 3-4 hybrid, and
Yeah.
they want to fancy. He wants to take with the 4-3 that the Browns are in now.
Yeah, that's what Wood said. He's staying with her.
So you don't really, because if you do change up a scheme, it changes up the personnel you have and their
Right.
abilities, because some they're
Yeah, because Myles Garrett doesn't fit in a 3.
he's not a stand-up outside linebacker.
Right,
He's
that's what he'd be playing in.
he's a in the ground.
You'd have to totally rework your defense, and it's not working.
You don't have that big nose tackle on your line off in your roster right now that's going to fill the gaps.
Right.
And you don't have that, so that's a smart move. Let me understand why we'd want Wade Phillips. But you also got to think with the personnel we have on the roster, would it have been adequate to bring him in there, and how much change, how much turmoil that it caused, the turnover and the revamping. I think it was too much of a headache.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, I'm liking the. I mean, I'm not gonna jump on any boat right now because every year we do this. Like, oh, it's great. You know, last year, we brought up Monken and Wilkes, sweet.
Yeah, it always looks good on paper, but you got to.
But this is the first year that things look like they common sense and like thought was put into it. They didn't just bring in the first name, the best name out there. Right. Hey, come and play work here.
Right.
So like, all right, well, you're not the best person out there, but you're the best person for this job.
Yeah. I think he did a lot of research.
I think as long as Haslam backs off, unless this do what it's supposed to do in the next 2 years.
Yeah, let's hope.
Because it's not like a fresh build. You know, there's still core pieces there on the roster, so it's not like every other year where you break down and bring it back up. Like, you have the talent on this roster to add a piece or two and just go. Like, you have it.
Yeah, they're only a couple pieces away from contending.
You're an offensive lineman or two away. That's all you need right now on your team is some depth at the D-line.
Well, speaking of that, I got a couple here on this list of targets.
You got one.
There's two. Well, one guy might retire, but he's still a pretty decent player.
Yeah, but he's too old. You're not
Anthony
bringing
Costanzo.
You're not bringing him.
Hey, you're not going to sign him. Maybe a 2-year deal. You're not going to go 4 or 5 years.
Go for Trent Williams. Then he's younger.
Yeah, but he hasn't played in almost 2 years.
Yeah, but he's younger.
I know.
He's still
elite. It's going to cost too much money. But you know the guy that I want.
Jack Conklin. Right tackle.
Well, you got Brian Beluga, too, from...
Maybe he's a little old, too, but he's an interior lineman. No, he's a right tackle. Yeah, he's a right tackle. That's right.
Yeah, obviously Conklin's the main.
He's a prize horse on this one, and I think he would fit perfectly on that line. Callaway would love to have him on the line. I want Tennessee to resign him, to be honest with you, but with the money we need to allocate to Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill.
If they're going to put big money into a free agent, I'd rather it be him, a tackle, a big need. And then you draft your left tackle at number 10 and go to work.
This tackle class is so deep, you could grab both.
Yeah.
Tackles in the first and second round.
You probably could.
You could grab your left tackle, in my opinion, Andre Thomas, 10, and then when you pick again in the second round, Austin Jackson could be there out of USC, who's slotted to be a better right tackle than a left tackle.
Yeah.
Right there, you have two young bookends on your line, and now you spend your free agent money at pass rusher, linebacker, safety.
You're going to need safety. You need probably 2 safeties starting.
You draft one in the third.
Because it depends. See what they do with Demarius Randall. I think the guy we fired lost his name already. John Dorsey was planning on jettisoning
Let him go.
And then Morgan Burnett obviously tore his Achilles, so.
But he could.
You don't know how he's going to come back.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If he comes back, he could be your third safety in the rep.
And the young kid they drafted, Redwine, played decent, but he's a good backup, a depth option. Starting on a team that's expected to go places. But there's a couple guys. I think the one that makes the most sense is probably Anthony Harris from Minnesota, given the familiarity with Stefanski. So you could see them making a play for him.
Von Bell, I mean, you can probably bring him in on
former
Buckeye. You could probably bring him in here on a little cheaper contract, a 2-year deal.
Right.
Team-friendly one, because he's not a superstar player.
No, he's just solid.
He's gonna be a journeyman player. So I mean, he's not someone's gonna break the bank, and he knows that.
And then the guy I've mentioned his name. Another need is depending on what they do with our current tight end.
Austin Hooper.
Yeah, Austin Hooper is the guy that I want. I don't know what the plans are with Njoku, but
I let him go.
Like they said in the past, Stefanski likes guys who dual threat blockers and pass catchers out of the tight end position, and Njoku can catch sometimes. He makes the hard catches, drops the easy ones.
If you watched it last year, Baker and him did not look like they ever
No.
even when Baker came in his rookie season, it never looked like him and Njoku were on the same page.
No, he had a
They were never synced.
much better chemistry with Demetrius Harris, actually.
Yes, and that's why I think with Njoku being so raw, so young, and there's so much potential there, you could probably trade him. You're not getting your first round pick back. You're never getting your second round pick back.
No.
You're probably getting a fourth.
Third or fourth.
I doubt you get a third.
Maybe a third.
Third's still a very valuable pick.
Yeah.
So I doubt you get a third, maybe a fourth, maybe.
Yeah.
And the fourth, you know what you do? You draft a defensive lineman for depth in the fourth round. Let him sit there. You got it. But then you try to bring in Austin Hooper, or you try to have Stefanski work some magic and trade for Kyle Rudolph.
Yeah. Well, I'm really interested to see what they do at the other defensive end spot. I do think Vernon's going to be cut. That's $15 million coming off the cap.
True. But also, I mean, what does it hurt to, like, with the cap space we have is already accounted for?
Yeah. Well, I have no problem keeping him as long as he can stay healthy.
Happens. You know, yeah.
That's the key. Because he's the last 3 seasons, he hasn't played a full season.
No, he hasn't.
And there's no doubt. I mean, he's talented, and when he plays, he can produce. But you got to stay on the field to produce.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
So we'll talk about. So we'll go to we're gonna do a segment every week. I'm going to do a segment every week. Kevin's gonna comment along with it. It's good. We're gonna do 2 divisions a week, and we're gonna do team needs and best draft prospect to fit those needs.
Yeah.
This week I decided to go with AFC North and AFC South. Obviously Browns, Titans, right. And then we'll finish out the AFC next week, and then we'll go in the NFC and go. I mean, I could have done one of each, but I want to do both the Browns and Titans, so I figured we'll break it down. So we'll start with the AFC North. We got the Baltimore Ravens. They need, in my opinion, a pass rusher who can get to the quarterback without a scheme built around like a special blitzer or something,
Yeah.
And where they're picking, late 20s, 28 actually. Curtis Weaver out of Boise State would be an ideal pick for them. He could fall because he had an ankle injury. He finished with a pass rushing grade of 92 for the second consecutive season. He's the only player that I've ever graded, and I've seen graded that high from PFF.
Yeah.
That consecutive. Like, I went back to a bunch of grades for pass rushers. I'm bored at work on my lunch. I'm always on the phone.
Right.
I sit there for half an hour at East Hamilton, reading Player Football Focus, on draft grades and stuff. And I noticed that he's the only one that's ever had 92 consecutive years, and I was like, kind of impressive.
Yeah.
So I think Curtis would be from Boise State would be a great fit for Baltimore. Then we go to Steelers. They need interior offensive line, and what do Steelers do best? They draft Buckeyes.
Right.
So who do they get? Jordan Jackson, Ohio State. No, he's not the best, but he's a solid draft interior lineman, and being inside the line, you can really hide some flaws because you got 2 other guys to your left and right that help. Are your guys' Cleveland Browns here?
Well, before you get off Pittsburgh, do you think this is the year they pick their heir apparent to Ben?
I think they have him.
Who?
Rudolph.
You think so?
I think that I don't personally think he's the fit, but I think they think.
I know a lot of Pittsburgh fans. I work with a lot of them, and they're not.
Oh no, the fans probably don't think so, but the front office, I believe, feels that Mason Rudolph is their guy.
Yeah.
So that's just my opinion.
We'll see. I think they need to.
Yeah, but they're not. They never.
This could be Ben's last year.
And then they draft him next year, and guess who's there next year?
Justin Fields. Yeah.
And Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, Lawrence too. Yeah, I'd rather see him draft him this year.
Not happening, but.
All right, we got for the
Browns. Their biggest needs is tackle, and tackle.
Yep.
So I have Andre Thomas out of Georgia being their pick at 10. There's a couple of tackles you can get. The guy out of Louisville, Becton, who's like a freak in length and height. And then you got the guy out of Iowa, Big Ten, Wirfs. But I think Thomas is the truest and purest left tackle in this draft. I was telling you earlier in the show, as a true freshman, he graded like 76.7 pass blocking. And then as a true freshman in the SEC, going against those elite talent, he graded at almost an 80. in pass blocking. That's stupid.
Right.
And it's only gotten higher from there. He's going to be your long-term perennial Pro Bowler.
Yeah, I'm 100% fine with that.
That's who the guy you take. I mean, you'll be okay with Wirfs or the guy out of Louisville. I think Louisville guy is more of a project.
Yeah, he's a beast.
He's huge. He's a project, but he might take a year or two to become where he needs to be. But Thomas is a plug and play. He come in there. He's
Right.
Baker's on his backside half the time, half as much as he was last year, guaranteed.
See, one of the biggest Steelers fans I know just chimed in and said Rudolph is not the answer.
I don't think he is either. Like,
Yeah.
I personally...
I don't know how they view him as an organization.
Because they drafted Hodges, right?
Yeah.
And then that didn't work. And then they drafted Rudolph so pretty high last year, second round.
Yeah.
Or the year before,
It was a couple years ago. Yeah.
second round. And, they haven't... Nowhere I read have ever put Pittsburgh as a quarterback needing... is when they're... Because right here, I took all the team needs from PF, Player Football Focus. Their needs, interior, edge, field stretch, tight end, and then quarterback's like the fifth position.
Yeah.
Which usually they just throw it in there because it's not the greatest depth.
Yeah.
But like Tennessee, they have their fourth is offensive tackle. We have we have a couple tackles on our roster that could fill in for Conklin if he leaves.
Right.
But we don't even know if he's leaving. We can reassign him and tackles I need.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just those like weird. You could be improved there, but it's not something I really worry about. Like, I don't think he's the answer. 100% no.
Yeah,
I think he's garbage. But
as a Browns fan, sure, he's the answer. At least.
yeah. But I think the team itself believes that they have something there and they want to see what it goes with.
They might give.
They may learn.
Yeah.
But they're sure they're going to learn. But
I think next one's a no-brainer.
Chase Young.
Bengals. Chase Young.
No, I know. Joe Burrow. Chase Young would be the smartest pick. He's the surest, safest pick in the draft.
Joe Burrow would probably hope they would take Chase Young.
Really? Because I don't know if he wants to go. He's not going to Redskins.
No.
He's not going to Lions. So Joe Burrow doesn't get selected. One, he's not getting selected till the Dolphins.
Probably not.
I'm pretty sure he's not going to go to the Dolphins either.
Yeah. Might be a little better option than Cincinnati, but
maybe. But Joe Burrow, he's going to be he's the best quarterback in the draft overall. They need a quarterback. They need a guy that can hopefully break that 30-year, playoff win drought. That'd be nice. But then we'll go to Houston Texans. All right, we'll go to the AFC South here. You got cornerback as their big need. They're losing a few of them. A.J. Terrell out of Clemson, with where they're picking, I think, because they're not picking until the second round.
Right.
So they traded away their first round pick to who they trade? Who they pick up?
It was the offensive tackle. I can't remember who it was. It was the big trade they made.
Oh, from the Miami.
Laramie Tunsil.
Tunsil, thank you. Yes. So they traded their tackle. Yeah. So they solidified the line. Not an issue no more. And I think their best corner is testing the market for agency or a second best corner, so they need one. Terrell out of Clemson. If you watch the national championship, he got burned pretty bad.
Yeah.
But Jefferson burns a lot of people. That's kind of hard. You're going to. But he hung in there. Houston needs a cover corner who can stick to the receiver. Terrell's that guy. You're going to get burned once in a while. It's going to happen. You're not going to be 100% shut down. Nobody's catching shit on me type of guy.
Yeah.
You're not a hazmat suit, all right? Shit's getting through.
Right.
Then we got Tennessee picking 29. We need more pass rushing. Like we have a Cameron Wake who's like 74. And I mean, before that we had Brian Rapko who was 82.
Yeah.
I mean, we need some youth there.
Definitely.
To go along with Harold Landry. And I think that Yader Gross-Matos out of Penn State, if he falls, which he could, he may not, would be stupid. He had a passing grade of 81.8 in 2019, which is pretty good. And we'll see, like, calling Big Ten, with the offensive linemen there.
Yeah.
Those are big farm boys, offensive linemen in Big Ten. You know how they are. So, and then the Colts, they get the heir apparent for luck. They take Jake Fromm. I see him as a Alex Smith type guy. He's not going to be flashy, but he's not going to turn the ball over a lot. He's not going to cost you games. He's going to win you more games than he costs you. The Jaguars are going to need an off-ball linebacker, and that's why it's one of their biggest needs. But where they're picking at 7 or 8, there's no linebacker worth that pick, and I don't see that they never really trade out.
Right.
So they're going to go their next need was defensive line interior, and they're going to take that Javon Kinlaw out of South Carolina, who showed up huge in the senior game or the Senior Bowl, and had everybody talking about him since, and his stats just skyrocketed. So.
Wish I could have seen some stats for the Senior Bowl.
Bro, I couldn't find nothing. No box scores, no nothing. It's like, how did it go? Nowhere. So, Jason Kipnis. Let's go to the Indians here. We got Jason Kipnis signed with the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah,
today,
minor league contract.
1 year minor league contract.
Yep.
And did you happen to, excuse me, see the post he posted?
Yeah, to the fans of Cleveland.
Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Did you read it?
Yep.
Should we read it to the viewers?
Sure, in case some of them didn't see it or
Yeah,
hear it.
I thought it was really well wrote. You want to do it?
Go ahead.
Oh, you want me to do
You
it?
got it pulled up?
All right.
Do it.
Says from number 22, Cleveland, I'll keep it short. Thank you for taking a chance on me. This is via his Instagram, by the way. So this is not no copyright shit. He wrote this to us, so don't try to sue us for reading anything. Thank you for taking a chance on me as an organization and as a fan base. You guys joined me on this ride to get this great org back to where it belonged, at the top of competing for a World Series every year. I'm sorry I couldn't finish the job for you. You helped shape me into the person I am today, and I am forever grateful. From the polite, respectful greetings you showed my family, friends, and everywhere we went, every restaurant, every bar, every Heinen's, everywhere, you made me feel 10 feet tall. Many of you went from fans to familiar faces to even friends. Keep that rally together spirit going for this team. You're holding them to a high standard, and that's the way it should be. I was fortunate enough to play with some of the best teammates, coaching, medical, and equipment staff in the game, and would haven't had the run I did without them, many of which are lifelong friends now. I will always cherish my time in Cleveland. I've always tried to show you how much I loved wearing that jersey. By the way, I played for you. Forever grateful. Forever part of the tribe. Thank you, Cleveland. Kip, Dirtbag, #22. I thought that was really nice. He did have a couple, he wasn't very consistent, but he was a fan favorite, great clubhouse guy.
Right.
I mean, for $1 million, why wouldn't we just re-sign him?
Well, we signed Cesar Hernandez, who's an upgrade.
I understand that, but
and then we've got a shit ton of infielders to fill the utility role. They'll keep a couple extra ones because this year we got 26.
This is that veteran presence that you can use in the clubhouse. We were talking about re-signing Kipnis for $6 million. Yeah. That was we get but this dude signed $1 million minor league option.
Right.
What the fuck?
He he's had a last couple years been rough for him, but my lasting memory is 2016 Game 7. The ball that he hit that was just fouled. It would have been the game-winning home run.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So close.
Would have made
him an instant hero in Cleveland forever.
Jersey up in the rafters.
Yeah.
Easily. We're hanging right there.
Yeah.
He'd have been retired it. He won a World Series in the last 50 years.
All right.
Without a doubt. But I always when I think of Kipnis, if I ever try to remember a memory, it's not a special play he did. It's every time someone else had a good play, he's running out there with those cups of water, Gatorade, and just showering them. You can just see the pure joy.
Yeah.
Excitement.
Never met him, but all accounts, he was a great teammate, great guy.
He just loved the game.
Right.
It didn't matter if they were winning or losing. He always had a smile on his face. He loved playing the game of baseball.
And I hope he does well with the Cubs.
I hope he makes a roster.
Yeah,
I hope he makes a roster. Just because he's...
And to his credit, he usually has a great spring. But then... the last couple of years, he's had great spring. And I remember, was it last year or 2 years ago, he hit 6 home runs in the first 2 weeks of spring training. You're oh my God, he's going to have a big year.
Yeah. Because he's going over with pitchers that aren't MLB caliber pitchers, and he's an MLB caliber hitter.
Right.
But, for a career, I think he's averaging 240 batting average, which isn't horrible.
No. Well, yeah, nowadays, you got a lot of guys in lineups hitting 240, 230. If you can hit 230 with 20 home runs, you got a starting spot.
The pitching's so much better than it was.
Right.
That's why. And if you look, I was looking at it like the roster this year compared to last year.
Yeah, I wrote down what the projected roster is going to be, the 26 man.
Yeah,
I mean, a couple could change here and there. But
close to what I thought. Is that starting pitching? Is that like the order you think it's going to be in?
Yeah, I think.
Or is that just?
Well,
I think
I'd rather have Plesac over Pluko, but Pluko's out of options. I mean, they could put him in the bullpen and put Plesac as the 5th starter, but Plesac has options left, and Pluko's out of options.
I think Pluko in the bullpen would have been nice.
It may end up being that way, but Clevenger, Bieber, and Carrasco are going to be the top 3. And
I think Bieber, Clevenger go.
Yeah, either way, it doesn't matter. They're 1 and 1A in my opinion. Aaron Savali, who I absolutely love, I think he's going to be a big time sleeper this year. And then, like you said, the 5th spot could be Pluko or Plesac if they put Pluko in the bullpen.
Yeah.
But bullpens is going to be better than it was last year. I mean, they got Brad Hand, who they won't have to work so much because you got the 2 flamethrowers and Emmanuel Clace and James Karinchak.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Whitgren was solid last year. Oliver Perez.
Adam Simber had a down year.
Yeah, I'm hoping he can bounce back. And then Hunter Wood pitched pretty well after we picked him up from the Rays last year. And there's some other guys that could be in the mix as well. That's not set in stone. A couple of those guys could be interchangeable.
Yeah.
Then you got Roberto Perez and new acquisition Sandy Leon as the backup catcher. Infield, you got Santana at first, Cesar Hernandez, the new acquisition at second. Obviously, Frankie Lindor at short, Jose Ramirez at third, and Christian Arroyo will probably be the utility guy. We acquired him last year from the Devil Rays. He was injured. He's got some upside. Was a top prospect with the Giants just a couple years ago. And then I think Jake Bauers will end up getting the final backup spot.
Over your boy Bobby Bradley?
Well, I think they'll only keep Bradley if they play him every day, but they supposedly are going to sign Domingo and Santana, which takes the DH spot away, puts either him or Reyes in there, probably switching back and forth, which leads me to the outfield. Got Mercado in center. Franmil Reyes will play some right field and DH. Domingo Santana, supposedly they're getting a deal done with him. Him and Reyes will switch back and forth between right field and DH. Jordan Luplow, Delino DeShields, and Greg Allen. But I actually compared, there was a lot of talk about Yasiel Puig, and I also wanted him back. I compared last season's numbers with Santana and Puig. Santana hit 253. Puig hit, I put 367. It's actually 267. 24 homers for Puig in 555 at-bats. Santana had 21 home runs and 104 less at-bats. 20 less RBIs. The only thing with him is he strikes out a lot more than Puig does. But other than that, if you project his numbers out, the at-bats that Puig had, they're actually better in the home run and the RBI, the power categories. And he's only 27. So he's entering the prime of his career. And if you can get him for $1 million, that's a hell of a bargain.
If he can maintain this
yeah, his best year was 2017. He hit 278 with 30 homers, 85 RBIs with the Brewers.
Close game alert. Number 3, Kansas trails number 14, West Virginia, 46-43.
That's the crazy NCAA. It's going to be a fun tournament, though. Yeah, they got the Ohio State's playing too, and Ohio State and the Cavs are going on right now. Of course, Ohio State's
they're
what a clusterfuck they've been this year.
It's pretty bad. So I'm gonna run something by you here.
All right.
How many games in the MLB season?
162.
So when do you start watching? Like when do you start getting more? When you start paying more attention to the season?
Well, like the first week or two, I'll watch because it's new. It's baseball's back.
Okay.
And then kind of go into a lull, or like it gets boring. You're not going to sit there and watch every game. Okay, I'll watch if it's a good pitching matchup or something. I'll watch, but
for the most part, when do you start to watch it? Come back to it.
Around June, July.
So around the All-Star break,
yeah, All-Star break, trade deadline.
Right, yeah. So when the shit gets real.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then pretty much I'll watch it throughout then, because August and September, if you're in it, games are exciting.
Yeah.
Every game means something.
So about the first half of the season's kind of like, eh.
Yeah,
it really doesn't.
Like second half of April, May, and maybe beginning of June. It's
really doesn't. doesn't affect much.
Kind of block.
Because you can kind of start off real weak, but then finish strong and
Right.
have a chance for the playoffs, new division stuff.
Yep.
All right. So this is not my idea. There's a Cleveland Sports podcast. I mean, Cleveland Sports talk shows. We got Baskin Phelps and all that stuff. This is Phelps' idea.
All right.
And I absolutely love it. That's why I'm about to bring it up on our podcast. I absolutely. So it's all credits his, not mine. All right. Copyrighted by Baskin Phelps.
In case he's listening.
Yes, which he's probably not. He has no idea we exist. But in case someone says something about tweets and then, word of mouth, people are in stitches, so.
All right.
162 games divided by 3 is 54, right? So instead of having, because the MLB, the reason this is all coming up is because the MLB is introducing new, they're looking to introduce new playoff format where there's adding 7 teams per conference, and then you're going to pick your teams.
Trevor Bauer is not a fan.
I'm not a fan either. This is not, you don't
not
get to pick who you play, right? That's just dumb.
Right.
One plays 4, 2 plays blah, blah.
Yep.
That's how it should be. That's how it's always going to be.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
One thing I did like is granting the number 1 seed the best record a bye. If you have the best record throughout the regular season, I think you deserve a bye for the wild card round or first round, whatever you want to call it.
Well, they do that in football.
Right.
So, I mean, it's fine. I mean, that's not an uncommon.
Right. I agree with that part, but the rest of it.
But the picking in, adding 17, that's just, you don't need that many teams.
No, you don't. You don't need to add any more teams.
Because usually the 7th or 8th best team in MLB in the conference isn't that good. If you're looking at a borderline 500 team.
If they kept the format the way it was and cut the season back by a week or 2 and made the wild card round 3 games instead of 1, I think that would be better too.
So keep the same amount of teams in, just make it a 3-game wild card series.
Yeah, because it sucks when you play 1 game, you 1 loss, and you're done.
Yeah, you have one bad pitching out.
Right, make it a 3-game series.
Yeah. I can see that, and I'd be okay with that. Fine.
Right.
Because you know what it does? It gives the other teams on top that are waiting a little rest.
Yeah.
4 or 5 days. It gives them about a week.
Right.
So that's fine. But here, so this is the theory. This is the reason this came up. This is his new playoff format that he said would make things more interesting, and honestly, I think it does.
Yeah.
So you have 54 games. That's a third of the season.
Right.
So the first 54 games, each conference or league, American National League, will have a winner. So the team with the best record in that 54 games, automatic playoff berth, right? So you got one seat, you got one team in. Next 54 games, best record, playoff berth. Third 54 games, best record, playoff berth. And then the fourth team would be the next best record not in the playoffs already. So if the first 3 teams are the ones that have the best records, the fourth team, which is how it usually works now, would make it in there. All right? So Kevin, the common question is, well, what if someone wins it twice? All right, fine. Well, if the Yankees win the set 1 and set 3, when they play the playoffs, instead of 4 games, they get 5 home games.
All right.
If they win all 3 times, they get 6 home games. All right. If they win it all 3 times and have the best record in the American League, they don't play a single road game. Right? Well, you would think that's a huge disadvantage, but the person that won the World Series last year didn't win a home game.
Right.
They were the lower seed, and then what they do? They won all road games and won the World Series.
Yeah.
It happens. So it's a disadvantage, but it's not something you can't overcome. Right? So you do that. What does that do? What does that do for the MLB right there? You have 4 teams in. That's 8 teams. There's no wild card weekend no more. You're just playing, blah, 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 blah. You'll have week 1 versus week 3. Or Division 1, excuse me. Set 1 versus set 3, and set 2 versus the wild card or the 4th team in. All right? That's how you do it. 1 versus 3, 2 versus 4. It's not 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3. It could just be, split it up.
Right.
But that keeps the whole season interesting because, you could have a slow start. The Indians could start off real slow and you're like, oh shit, my season's over. That's not necessarily. If you got hot for the next 54 games, you can make the playoff. Because what if you had an injury in the beginning and he's not gonna Francisco Lindor tweaks the knee, he misses 3 weeks. 3 weeks in MLB, that's gonna be 15 games.
Right.
Easily, 10 to 15
At
games.
least, right.
So right there, if you 54 games, you're already looking at 30 something right now.
Yeah.
So you're pretty much out of it if your best player's out. It doesn't mean you're out of playoff because you can come back and guess what? You can be in the hot team next 54 and you make a playoff berth.
Right.
It just allows for injuries to not factor into you being, a bad team. It keeps you engaged the whole season long.
Right.
So your team can be like, oh, I sucked. We suck. But we got hot. You earned a playoff berth. And then you just stayed mediocre.
Yeah. Fine,
cool. But you got hot when you need to get hot and you won. Just like how teams make the playoffs at the end of basketball. They get hot. At the end, they see they're in. Yeah. Doesn't mean they're the best team. They just got hot at the right time.
Right.
I love that idea. I think it's a great idea. It won't ever work.
Yeah, it'll probably never work, but it would spice things up for sure.
And it's not going to change a whole lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it just keeps you engaged the whole MLB season. Because 162 games, that's a lot.
Yeah, no matter what happens, they need to reduce the season by 10 to 20 games. So you're not going into November with the World Series, especially in the cold weather cities. Shouldn't be playing baseball when it's 25 degrees, 30 degrees.
Or they could start it a little sooner, but all the teams that play in colder states.
Yeah, well, they're starting the last week of March this year
yeah,
in Cleveland.
We're going to get a snow day.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. It's going to snow. But
yeah, that was dumb.
That's just I thought Backlund had a great idea. I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's different for sure.
It would work out. I thought it would keep me entertained. I'd be like, all right, who's who? This 54-game race is,
right.
Term one winner. Who's just? I mean. Because right now you watch it, you can start the MLB, you're like, oh, cool. April baseball.
Yeah.
So exciting. I mean.
So a couple of the rule changes that were implemented for this year. 25-man rosters are now 26. You get an extra guy. 3 batter minimum for pitchers coming in the game, relievers. So
yeah.
That's going to change a lot. September roster expansion used to be 40. Now it's down to 28. Teams, I haven't looked into this one. I'm not sure what it is. Teams can designate.
In September before the playoffs, they used to add more. They're taking it way down, huh?
Yeah, well, you could bring up. Yeah, before you could bring up an extra 15 guys if you wanted to for the month of September. Now you can only bring up 2 actually. Go from 26 to 28. So that's a big change there.
That's huge.
Yeah. And then the 10-day DL was switched back to 15-day DL. I mean, not a huge deal there.
It's actually probably a little better because that guarantees you 5 more days of healing time,
Right.
Because what if your injury needed like 12 days, and you came back 10 and you pushed it a little too hard?
Right.
It makes sense. It gives you a little more cushion for these injuries. But
before we get into basketball, did you see the 2 Buckeyes that were thrown off the team?
Well, yeah, when you kidnap and rape somebody.
Yeah, that was bad.
You need
Amir Reap is the biggest name. He played in the playoffs last year and was projected to be a starter this year. But he's no longer with them. Ryan Day acted swiftly, which I commend him for that.
No Urban Meyer.
Yeah, let's wait and see what happens.
He learned from his protege, which is good. That's what he's supposed to do.
Yep.
From his.
Trying to check on see how the Cavs are doing here. Wow, they are blowing out the Hawks 98-80 right now. Andre Drummond, 14 points, 14 rebounds, 2 block shots. That's without Kevin Love, too.
What's going on?
Sexton has 18. Porter has 13. Tristan Thompson has 20 and 8. 2 for 2 from 3-point range.
Tristan?
Drummond's
we watched those, dude. They were ugliest 3-pointers I've ever seen.
Not the best form, but if he can hit them,
blind grill,
Well, that's what Andre Drummond said. He said he's been practicing threes for the last 2 years, working on it, but Detroit would never let him shoot them because he's trying to develop with the rest of the NBA. You
have to adapt and overcome. Yeah.
So I guess John Beilein gave him the green light. His first game, he hit 2 out of 3. So we'll see. Maybe he can start hitting some threes.
So your Steelers fan that comment on the post, he brought something that we didn't bring up. Baker sleeping around on his wife already.
Yeah, we kind of talked about it for a minute, but not in depth.
Did we?
Yeah, I just brought it. I brought up. Remember, I said maybe a veteran quarterback can keep Tom to stay out of the Cheesecake Factory.
She's a cheesecake waitress.
Yeah,
That's right. I thought you meant because he was fat.
no. Well, yeah, that's
why I took it because he was
yeah,
fat.
that could both could apply.
So, no, yeah, well, that's just funny because there's another one claiming there's a video.
Yeah, I mean,
Good job,
who knows?
Baker.
I mean, you gotta watch.
His wife's pretty hot.
She is. That's what I mean.
Why
What are you doing?
I don't understand, dude. Like, you have this hot piece of
And
ass.
I seen the girl, the picture on Rover this
And
morning.
she's a little chunker.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, she's not.
I understand you got fat.
She's
too.
average. I mean, it's compared to what he has.
I understand he got fat too, so maybe he just wanted some,
Right.
country loving. I don't know.
Well, supposedly, I think it was her that it was just BJ apparently.
Still, well, on the tables at Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know where it is, but
that's pretty good service. I wonder if he tipped her.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm all for that.
No, now I know why it's such a popular place.
That's expensive as fuck. I didn't know you got that shit.
Well, yeah. Extra service.
Yeah, fuck, dude. I'm like, where's that on the menu? All right,
Right.
come on. Like, you know how they have like the pepper for hot shit?
Yeah.
There's like a eggplant for shit that's involved for like the. But oh man, Cleveland quarterback. Like, either. Did you hear? See OBJ's press conference with Bleacher Report, or not press conference, but like interview? He's always everybody's out. He's always felt like he's out to get begotten, man.
Yeah.
He can't be himself, and blah blah blah. Dude, whoever said you couldn't be yourself?
Right.
Like, you try to marry a goalpost. Like, what the I'm kicking that, sorry.
Well, did we see him being himself at the national championship game?
Probably wasn't. So
His intoxicated self.
I'm sorry, but they need to trade him.
They won't.
I know.
They're going to give it one more year with Stefanski and see what he can do with him.
I don't think it's him. I really don't. I don't think any coach can control him.
Probably not.
You just gotta tolerate him. And
Yeah.
Cleveland's not in a situation where they can tolerate talent. Like, you don't need that in like a first-year coach, first-year GM. With the revolving door in Cleveland that's not a situation you want to be in.
Well,
If it was New England or Philadelphia, who that has just been in place for, the front office is.
there was a rumor out there that the Packers had some interest. So. But well, I mean, we'll see how the season goes. I mean, shit hits his van. They could end up moving him at the deadline. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
that could be interesting.
Yeah.
But he has to be, if he's doing really good though. See, this is the thing is, like, what if Cleveland plays it like this? Like, what if mid-season, right before the deadline, Odell's on like a personal best season, track. Do you trade him while his stock is high?
It depends. Is he on this high track when you're 2-6 or 6-2?
You're 500.
I think you keep him then because you're 500. You're still on the hunt.
Are you though? Because you got Big Ben coming back. All right. You got Lamar Jackson, who's the reigning MVP.
Yeah.
And we got Joe Burrow. We don't know what he's going to do for that team. They have some really good young receivers, a good young running back. I mean, you add some O-line and, a few pieces here, they are going to be from a 1-win team. They could go to 6 wins. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not saying playoffs like day one,
Right.
but it's not going to be a rollover, cakewalk anymore.
No, definitely not.
And with like I said, with Big Ben back, I mean, you're now going from third or fourth best quarterback in the division, as Baker now.
We have to beef up our defense for sure.
Exactly. So if Baltimore wins the division, right? So let's say this way: it goes New England, Baltimore,
Chiefs,
Kansas City, and let's just say Houston, just because I don't want to sound like a homer.
Yeah.
All right. Those are your division winners. And Tennessee signs back their players. Tennessee's probably looking at a playoff spot because they're playing really well.
Right.
And then the last playoff spot could be you have the Broncos, who Drew Lock looked like something. You have the Texans could be in there, the Steelers, At 500, the trade deadline, I don't think the Browns have enough to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know.
So why wouldn't you try to trade him?
They might.
And this is all hypothetical, obviously.
Yeah,
but
like I said, it's how he plays and how he acts the first half of the season. I think will determine that.
I just think he needs. I think you have bigger needs, more important needs, and I don't know. I've been saying this for a while though. You don't need to. There's a lot of money invested in one skill set, one position group. You don't have $30-some million between two of them?
With him and Landry, yeah,
almost 30. So I mean, it's a lot of money.
Yeah,
a lot of money.
So back to basketball. With the trade deadline was the day after our show last week, and who would have thought Cavs would make the biggest splash? Surprising.
Nothing to be buyers. Literally, we're buyers. They got them for like chicken nuggets and an old loofah.
John Henson, Brandon Knight, and a 2023 second-round pick.
Not even their best. They have 2 that round.
Yeah, and it's the worst. Yeah, the worst of the 2. So yeah, that was definitely a no-brainer.
Only downside is now you're paying Kevin Love and this dude almost $60 million.
Yeah. Well, I think it all depends.
He's gonna opt in because he knows.
Oh, he already supposedly told people he's opting in.
Because he knows he's not going to get $28 million on the open market. So why would you give up $28 million?
As it stands right now, and this is why Kevin Love will be able to be moved this offseason, there's like 5 teams that are going to have cap space. And they're all like Knicks, Charlotte. They're all crap teams. So he's not going to want to go to Detroit, his old team. Obviously, he's not going to go back there. So he knows it's beneficial to him to pick it up because he's not going to get the money anywhere else. And the free agent market is shit this year.
Yeah.
So teams looking to make an addition are going to look at Kevin Love because he's better than anything on the free agent market. So I think that's why they'll have a better chance of moving him this offseason. But on the other hand, if rest of the season Drummond fits in well, the young guys keep developing, start playing better with him, Love fits in with them, they could keep Love and change directions and try to win next year. Not saying they're going to try to win a champion, but compete for a playoff spot. They could end up, say they don't get the first, second overall pick. If they're one of the 2 worst records, they could end up, say they get the 4th or 5th, they can end up moving that for a veteran player that can help them compete next year. Because they see what's happening. You know, all those season ticket plans that were put in place when LeBron was still here have now dried up.
They're expiring because they made it sound like a 3-year contract, a 3-year deal.
Fans, there's already been some games this year where there's been a lot of empty seats.
Of course.
They don't want to go through that. The Drummond trade drummed up some more excitement. People are excited about Kevin Porter. Colin Sexton's playing well. He just got named to the Rising Stars as a
because of an injury. Don't get
yeah, but he should have been on there anyways. But the young guys are developing, so it could be the right time to make a move for the playoffs next year.
Maybe, yeah.
They got even with Drummond, they have a lot of cap space.
So you don't think they're going to do a rebuild? You think they're going to do a retool?
Yeah, I think they're retooling. I think this trade signaled retool. They're not going to strip it down and do a complete rebuild.
Who wants to? I don't care how much money you have.
So the problem with this draft, if you don't, it's just like last year. You don't get one of the top 3 picks, there is a huge drop off in talent.
Yeah,
and you don't want to get screwed again for the 3rd time. So.
I like Anthony Cole out of Duke. Okay.
I haven't looked in depth into it yet. I know there's Anthony Edwards, who's a guard.
Out of Georgia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a premier guy. That Wiseman kid from Memphis who left school, the center.
Guy just left Kentucky, too.
And then Obi Toppin, who I love from Dayton. They're saying he's probably the top player in the NCAA right now. He's a power forward, like 3-4 hybrid type player. But inside outside player, I watched him play a couple times this year. I absolutely love his game.
Is he worth a top pick?
It depends. I mean, if you got Drummond, you're not going to take Wiseman.
No.
Edwards, you already got a shit ton of guards. Toppin is
I understand, like that's the position we're going.
Right.
But do you draft just because you have to draft?
Well, I mean, there's, like I said, a lot of people are saying he's the number 1 pick right now.
Number 1 overall pick.
Yeah. I know it's hard to believe from a school like Dayton, but
No.
if you ever get a chance to watch him play, check him out. He's pretty impressive.
I just thought the Edwards kid was.
Yeah, I mean he's a
number one
stud.
right now, too.
Right. But some of the other big deals that were made, Marcus Morris to the Clippers, I think was huge for them. And he was averaging almost 20 points a game with Detroit.
Yeah.
D'Angelo Russell and Andrew Wiggins got swapped. Wiggins went to Golden State.
We were talking about that the week before. Like
before. Everybody kind of knew that was going to happen. There were a lot of rumors about that going on.
We knew when they signed it, D'Angelo Russell, that it was a trade chip. Like
that's the thing with Wiggins. Like Steve Kerr said, we don't need him to come here and be a star. We need him to just be a role player.
Yeah.
Now you look at what they got next year. You got Steph Curry and Klay Thompson coming back. You still got Draymond Green. You now add Andrew Wiggins, and you also have probably the first or second pick in the draft. So they're gonna be right back at the top next season.
Yeah, but that's what Curry said. We don't need to be like you said.
Right.
Yeah,
he'll be third or fourth wheel.
The next Andre, he could literally the next Andre Iguodala.
Right. Yeah, he could be.
And that was what they needed because that's why they won. That's why they're such a good team. They had two guys that can shoot.
Right.
Like Klay Thompson isn't going to lead a team.
No.
Right. Curry, maybe. We haven't been able to see him do it by himself.
Right.
Right. So we don't know if Durant and Kyrie are going to, because Durant can never get over the hump in OKC when he had Harden and Westbrook.
Yeah.
So we don't even know if Durant can take a team to the finals by himself.
You know what the crazy thing is, too? In that freaking trade, they picked up Minnesota's first-round pick.
Who did?
Unprotected. Golden State. So now they have 2 private lottery picks this year.
Minnesota's not a lottery team, are they?
They're borderline. That's what I mean. It's going to be a 1-year tank and then back to the top for Golden State.
Yeah, we'll see.
Speaking of Iguodala, he was traded along with Jay Crowder to Miami.
Did you see what he did in his first game? He had 2 points.
Yeah, well, he hasn't played. He's got to shake the rust off for a while. He's 36 and hasn't played.
That's what you get for holding out, bitch.
Like, I think Jay Crowder was a good pickup for them too.
Dude, they added so much depth to that team. Miami's gonna be a team that would not be surprised when they get deep in the playoffs.
They got a bunch of young guys playing good, so they got what they needed. A couple veteran leaders who are decent players. At least Crowder right now. Iguodala, we'll see if he can get his magic back. And then kind of a big under the radar move was the Sixers getting Alec Burks and Glenn Robinson the third from Golden State. Burks was averaging like 17 points a game off the bench. Of course, he was in Cleveland last year for a little while. So a couple solid bench scorers for Philly.
Yeah.
Zion Williamson so far in 24 minutes of games, averaging 21 points, 8 rebounds, and shooting 40% from 3. So if he stays healthy, you project those numbers out to 38 to 40 minutes a game. That's pretty substantial. If he stays healthy, that's the key. And then Jordan Clarkson, our old friend, averaging 16 points a game in 23 games with Utah, and the Jazz are 17-6 since acquiring him from the Cavs.
Yeah, this dude's been balling since he got traded.
He had, I think, 38 or 40 points the other night. He scored like 20-some points in the fourth quarter. It's ridiculous. Doing what he does best, scoring off the bench.
Yeah. Well, not much left. It's I said.
It's like I said, pretty. Hey, we managed to get an hour and 7 minutes out of that. So
it's because of my new skit.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know if we'll have much new good stuff next week either. I mean,
no, we're getting kind of a lull right now.
Yeah, it's not a lot of dead space in sports. So
got baseball will be starting up in a month. March Madness is coming up. Baseball and then NFL draft.
When the brackets come out,
I think it's mid-March. I gotta look because I always run a big pool at work, so I gotta figure out the dates. I'll check tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got nothing, man. I'm ready to take a nap. So
yeah, I'm gonna go drive home in this crap weather.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, like last week when I almost fell off your porch.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was icy.
Running.
All right, guys.
All right, until next week.
We'll see you next week.